You ever discover a band and you're just like, what the fuck? Oh man, so I just discovered this band yesterday. Their name is Pussy. They're a UK psychedelic 60s era garage rock slash prog slash psychedelic rock band. They only have one record out. It's called Pussy Plays. And on the cover of it is a cat. It's got an interesting cover actually because not only is there a cat on the cover, I like their the background is this kind of dark bluish wallpaper with some spooky looking ghosty like cacti like it's hard to explain but it looks fucking cool. But you got this orange cat with some brown on the tail and the rear end on the cover with some big ass claws at the bottom, and the front claws got some blood drips coming out of it, so that's pretty cool. And he's got blue and yellow eyes, and the band members, they're riding on his back while their heads are. But the album's called Pussy Plays. It was released in 1969, and holy shit. I listened to a lot of bands from that time period, the Beatles, the Kinks, the Monkees, the Rolling Stones, the Seeds, you name it. I listened to a lot of psychedelic rock from back then. I just, I'm a noise rock artist. I'm an experimental artist. I love experimental noise rock, no wave stuff. And so whenever I find a really good psychedelic trippy band, oh, take me home, daddy. I'm always there. So, I did look up a little bit of information on this band, and I couldn't find much. I did find this little review done by some other guy, which I'm not really going to talk about the review because the other person that I saw review this album said that after the very first song, which is called "Come Back June," the album just goes downhill from there. He calls it mediocre and one of the more forgettable albums from that era, and I'm like, it's all about taste. It's all about individual preference, but oh my goodness, how could you say that about this? This album's 35 minutes long, and I listened to it probably 6 times over and over and over again. I just can't get enough of this shit. From the opening track, which I guess is the sound of a cat being strangled, to the end track, GEAB, which has a cat meowing at the end of it. This is just a non-stop garage rock fused with synthesizers, keyboards, good melodic yet harmonizing vocals, true and true. My favorite song on this is probably Comets, because it's the one track on this that just goes all out with the just I don't even know what the instrument is, but there's some high pitched knobs that are just wheeling and beeling and shooting around like shooting stars, and it just sounds fucking awesome. And it's got some low pitched demonic voices over the top of it. It just feels like you're shooting through space in a spaceship through a field of asteroids and comets and whatnot. That's what it feels like. You're just beaming through space. And it is an absolute trip. I love it. I wish I could take an edible or smoke a joint while listening to this, because I know that would just make the experience go from a 10, which it already is in my opinion, to even further. Now, the one thing that I will say about this album that is kind of in agreement with the other review that I read is, okay, when he says mediocre, I parts of it do sound mediocre, but not in a bad way. In the way that, like, punk rock bands, a lot of punk is just, it sounds out of tune, the vocals are off, or the riffs are just not built to perfection. This sounds very raw, very unpolished, very on the edge. It just sounds, parts of it are A+ in regards to the build-up and in regard to the structure of the songs. Like, some of the choruses on here, like, especially, the track Everybody's Song, or no, The Open Ground, that is a song about an apocalypse that is taking place and life being reborn after an apocalypse. And the chorus of that song sounds really well done. It sounds really well thought out. It's short, it's sweet, it's bittersweet, but it's accompanied with this deeply poetic, apocalyptic poem that just spews through the entire song, and it's kind of a lengthy one, but I love the synthesizers and the pauses and just the mode and the feel of it. The instrumental, it's very much It's very much spooky, and just it puts your mind in a world that's completely falling apart from natural disasters. The rain's poisonous, the clouds. The rain is filling up the rivers and causing them to flood into the oceans, and the black sun is evaporating, and the smells are just, the odors, just everything on Earth is just, turning to shit. A seriously bad natural disaster. And like I said, this song comes after the tragedy of Mina and after Comets. This entire album, from the beginning of it to the end of it, it's spooky, it's kooky, and it's just a non-stop groove. Even some of the slower songs just put your mind in such a psychedelic sort of, you can lay back with your, get headphones on, or maybe you're playing it out loud with the lights off, and you can just stare into the sky at night and just, you can feel this motherfucker from A to B. There's only 8 tracks on it. It's just, the vocals on here, I found the personnel. Deck Boyce is lead vocals, Barry Clark lead guitars, Peter Whiteman keyboards, Jez Turner bass, and Steve Townsend is on drums. So we got a 5-piece band here. That's pretty cool. Like I said, they all put their all into this. I love all the keyboard parts and some of the gritty guitars on this, and even some of the keyboards have grit to them. And the very last song on here, called GEAB, I don't know what it stands for, but it's more instrumental, and it's just a groove factory. Like, you want to talk about a track that is just a good way to just trip the fuck out and just go ham, go ape shit. That's that last track. All in all, this album is a spectacular 1969 drop. I didn't even know about it until yesterday. It's one of them albums to where the YouTube algorithm and people in the comment section were saying this on the YouTube. I don't know how this was recommended, but I'd say the algorithm struck some rare gems in this one. A YouTuber commented that, and yeah, that's how I found out about it. I was just listening to music on YouTube, and suddenly I was like, holy shit. Wow. First of all, I'm not gonna lie, the name Pussy stood out to me. I was like, what? That's cool. But Pussy Plays, and I'm like, 1969? Holy shit. Okay, I'm listening to that, and then I just, like I said, 6 to 7 loops, I couldn't stop. This record is just fantastic, and I hope I can find it one day on CD or vinyl or something, because just damn. I've heard a lot of shit from the 60s, and a lot of it's really good. I love psychedelic rock, but this one definitely stands out to me, not just because of the name, but it's just got that unpolished, raw touch to it, while at times having that well-pieced, well-put-together, polished touch. You got a group of guys here who obviously know how to play music, obviously know how to play really good, but at times you're just like, fuck it, let's just go anarchy on the chords, let's just go ham and see what we can put together, and yeah. Pussy Plays. And like I said at the beginning of this, on the cat's front paws, there's blood dripping from it, so I'm assuming the back paws are clean, the front paws have blood. Like I said about this band, sometimes they play like they know how to play, and other times it's all bloodied up and anarchy on the keyboard. So the album cover definitely fits the music here. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this because this is a fantastic record, and if you've never heard it before, definitely go give it a listen. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And I think they're on Spotify and all other stuff. And so, yeah, I'm Akaza. Thanks so much for watching this review of Pussy Plays 1969. Ciao, ciao.